these are just some of the questions Dr. Ford is going to read all, and he can just kind of go over the
Yeah,
questionnaire with
and
you.
these are just very
Yeah.
direct. I mean, like I said, this was established in 1998 by the CDC and Kaiser Permanente out in California, and these were researched by over 17,000 people. And I'll go over some statistics that
Yeah.
I talk about in the state of Oklahoma. But this is one of the questions: were your parents ever separated or divorced? Um, did you live with anyone who had a problem in the household, drinking or used street drugs? Was a household member depressed, mentally ill, or did a household member ever attempt suicide? Did a parent or other adult in the home swear at you, insult you, or push you down, or humiliate you, or act in a way that you thought you may be physically hurt? And again, remember at the beginning, I talked about abuse, neglect,
Mm-hmm.
household dysfunction. All of this is critical because this is when the brain is developing. So if just imagine the child that saw these growing
Uh-huh.
up. Imagine the child that has 3 or 4 of these
Go.
and they're not even 18. This is when you really look at these questions and understand these questions, this would be a lot for me and you to experience
Yeah.
at our age.
Hey, yes.
So imagine what a 7-year-old or 8-year-old would see and how they would react or respond. And
So
you
what
see
I
it a
hear you
lot, and you
saying,
see it a lot in school. You
yeah.
know, years ago, nearly not everybody, but a lot of kids, we call it the ADHD crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Many individuals thought children were developing ADHD and had high rates of ADHD. It was really adverse childhood events. And
Mm.
that's the way their body was
Responding
responding
to it.
to what was going on, what they were exposed to, and what they saw
Mm-hmm.
growing up as a child.
Child, yeah. See, I always say that's why I got in the work that I do. I love when people help children, but when you help a child, they still got to go home to that environment. And if
Mm-hmm.
the parents is not helped,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
then it's
Mm-hmm.
just defeating the purpose,
Yeah.
like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So
The farmer. I call the parents the farmer.
farmer, yeah. So I love
Mm-hmm.
it. So what I hear you say with these questions, what I'm hearing you say, we like to
Yeah.
translate. That's one
Yeah.
of my gifts. So what I hear you say, if a child or your child is growing up in an environment where hollering and screaming is normal, then they're probably going to be doing that every other environment that
Well,
they go to, pretty much.
there's a higher probability
Really, that they're
that
going to.
that's how they would learn to communicate. But also, you have to remember if a child is hearing yelling and screaming or abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, then the child learns because the first developmental stage is trust versus mistrust. So the child then learns that I'm not safe in this environment and I can't trust this environment. And
Mm,
that immediately makes the body um introduce stress responses.
Okay, so say that child grows up in that, and now that same child is an adult. So it acts out in different ways now. So how would that same experience look in an adult?
Well, they one way is they can be startled, on edge all the time,
Mm,
always hyper focused and hyper reactive, and paying attention to their environment and surroundings. Imagine if you grew up in an environment that was not safe,
hmm
and you go in another environment, but you grew up in an environment that was not safe. If I
hmm
put you in another environment, you will still believe that you're not safe, even though this could be the safest that you have ever been in your life.
Wow.
But
Wow.
you're not familiar with safe.
hmm
You're familiar with being unsafe.
Yeah.